Good morning, good morning to all of God's people, species, and well being. Good morning. How are we doing today? I am going to come to you today with another quick tip. And today's topic for me is entitled Elevators. I'm going to repeat this again. Today's topic is entitled Elevators. So I rose and it's been in my spirit. Yesterday I got up. I was like, why am I thinking about elevators? I went to work. I come back and I rose again this morning. And again, I started thinking about elevators. So in the midst of me preparing for today's topic, I started thinking about the different elevators and not only how they move, but sometimes understanding the elevators that we don't want to take. And I say that because if you never ridden or rode one, it may be hard for you to understand it. So we have elevators, our regular general elevators that goes up and down from one floor to the next floor. And then we have a special kind of elevator or elevators. They are called service elevators or freight elevators. And when you get on these particular elevators, they're a lot larger than the normal. But in order for you to take that ride on that elevator, sometimes you have to detour where the general population is at and go in a different direction. And often those elevators are used to carry heavy equipment. So follow me for a second. And when I looked at this picture or this mindset of the elevators, and I started looking at the freight elevators. And I remember once my sister, we had to go set up. And she's like, where are we going? And the guy told us, well, you take those elevators. She said, these elevators? She said, ooh, I'm scared. I said, but think about it. You have more room on this elevator. The capacity on a freight elevator, it weighs more than it does on a regular standard elevator. And I started looking at this thing and I said to myself, I know why a lot of people don't want to take the freight elevator. For number one, there is fear. For number two, it may take that elevator a little bit longer to come down, depending on the flow of the traffic. But this is the only elevator that you can ride with heavy equipment. And I ponder with that thing. And I remember working at a job where one of my duties was elevator duties. And we had to count how many people would get on the elevator. So it wouldn't tear or have somebody to come out there to fix it within the run of operation. And when you sitting in a tight, confined place, you can get claustrophobic to some, and things can get a little stuffy, and that you can stop at any given floor. But when I looked at the freight in the service elevator, and I realized when you get on that elevator, you have more room. The inside of it may not look as clean and pretty as a regular elevator, but you're guaranteed for you to get to your destination is higher in that elevator versus it is with an elevator that is filled in capacity with somebody else. So when we start looking at our soul and our well-being of our lives, sometime in life, we have to detour ourselves from taking the regular elevator and get on a freight or service elevator to deliver our well-being. Do we actually understand the weight and the burden that we carry on our shoulder? Only thing we look at, we feel like we're another person and another being, and we're getting inside of the elevator with everybody else. And you think about their weight, their worries, and their cares. And then you have to ask the question, how you doing today? And a lot of them sitting there, I'm good, I'm okay. And knowing inside of their spirit that they're full of pain. But when you get on the freight elevator, you're able to stretch your arms. You're able to take all your baggage, whatever you hold and whatever you carry with you. That capacity of that elevator weighs a little bit more. And you're able to take that with you as a well-being of a person. And don't be afraid, because that elevator look different. And sometimes the universe have us going in dark places or places that look unfamiliar for us. So we can be able to take a different route and come out on the opposite end. So when I thought about it and I looked at that and I said, okay, how often have we been carrying the burden of our childhood, the things that we see in our work life, the things that we may see in our relationships, it may be time for you to take another elevator. It may be time for you to get off the regular elevator where everybody else is on and detour yourself to get what is given and granted for you. Because on that elevator, when you have multiple of people, it depends on everybody not going to the same floor. So in the midst of it, you got to stop. Oh my God. You got to stop. You have to literally stop between floors and allow others to get off. And if you're in between a floor and you have to get off, sometimes you got to squeeze your way out and say, excuse me. I'm not saying that by you being on a freight elevator that you will be alone, but what I am saying that the general population does not ride those elevators. So when it's time for you to get on your floor, you have an opportunity to get there a little quicker than the next person. And you have an opportunity when you getting off on your floor, you have a little bit more room. So if life detour you and you're not riding the same elevator that everybody else, you're not in general population, you sitting in solitude, things got a little difficult for you. Somebody left your life. You may have lost some friends. You may have lost a job. You may have lost a position. Your child may not be doing well. All of the negative impact that may be coming up in your life. Just remember, you're on a different elevator. Your ride and your course of actions going to have to be different than the general population. So that means that you have to go down in the basement and sit in solitude. If that means that you have to go somewhere and detour some of your friends, you do that because your elevator is different than general population. God bless each one of you. 3, 4, 5, I rise, you rise. And most important, love thyself and give all to thyself before you start giving to anyone else. Be blessed.
Holds my hand. He wants everyone to know I'm his woman and he is my man. We can talk about anything. He's got nothing to